Welcome to SATV News. This is Tushamin with our headlines. Election scheduled to be declared in second week of December, says CEC Nasir. Arrest looters, keep the factories running, says Mirza Fakhrul. Many businessmen serve purposes of political parties, says Dr. Shafiqur. And death toll from Sri Lanka floods hits 123, over 130 still missing. Now in details. Chief Election Commissioner A.M. Nasiruddin today said the Election Commission will announce the schedule for the next general election in the second week of December. The CEC made this comment while speaking to reporters after inspecting a mock voting exercise demonstrated at Shere-Bangla Nagar Government Girls High School in the capital. The Election Commission conducted the mock voting exercise from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for both the upcoming national election and referendum, which are likely to be held simultaneously on a single day in early February 2026. The CEC also said the mock voting exercise was arranged to identify what is required to create an ideal environment for a fair, credible and participatory election as promised by the Commission. The Commission will have to hold a referendum simultaneously with the national election. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alongir has said that those involved in corruption and looting over the past 15 years should indeed face punishment, but shutting down their institution and creating unemployment is not a solution. Mirza Fakhrul made these remarks at the 4th Bangladesh Economic Conference held at a city hotel today. The senior leader of the party said the BNP, as a responsible political party, has always worked to keep the country's economy functioning. He also said that perceptions about the business community need to change and they must be trusted. He added that along with an economic roadmap, a political roadmap must also be formed. Meanwhile, in the same program, Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman said that many businessmen serve the purposes of political parties to sustain their businesses. Corruption is a major obstacle to the development and progress of Bangladesh. Therefore, it is important for everyone, regardless of party affiliation, to participate in preventing corruption, added the Jamaat-e-Islami chief. At the same time, NCP convener Nahid Islam called on the government to take initiative to stop the use of black money in the upcoming elections. BNP Standing Committee member Mirza Abbas today claimed that BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia's illness is not natural, alleged that she was subjected to slow poisoning while in prison under the Awami League government. Begum Khaleda Zia's illness is not a natural one. She has been a victim of abnormal situation. While she was in jail, she was subjected to slow poisoning, he said. The BNP leader made these remarks while speaking at the prize-giving ceremony of the Ruposhi Bangla Photography Exhibition and Competition at the Bangladesh Photojournalists Association Auditorium. Stating that he visited the BNP chief last night at Evercare Hospital, Abbas said she is now slightly better than before. Khaleda Zia was admitted to Evercare Hospital on the night of Sunday on the advice of the medical board after being diagnosed with infections in her heart and lungs. Bangladesh is facing an alarming level of earthquake risk due to its position over 3 active tectonic fault lines, and failure to take immediate action could lead to a large-scale humanitarian disaster, warned experts. These concerns were raised at a seminar titled Earthquake Awareness, Safety Protocol and Emergency Preparedness held at a hotel in the capital, organized by real estate company JCX Development Limited. Locals and foreign earthquake specialists, engineers, architects, policymakers and private sector representatives took part. Speakers said Bangladesh sits at the junction of the Indian, Myanmar and Eurasian tectonic plates, with 3 major active faults posing severe danger. 2 Japanese experts, Keiichiro Sako and Hensai Sujiyama, presented earthquake resilient construction model based on Japan's experience. They emphasized strict compliance with building codes, structural audits, sustainable design, and the use of modern shock-absorbing technology infrastructure. Speakers stressed that loss and damage from earthquakes can be significantly reduced with early preparedness, technology-based monitoring, and public awareness. Today is the second day of Jor Istama, a 5-day preparatory event of the Bishwa Istama held at Tongi. The Jor Istama will conclude before noon on Tuesday. During this gathering, public members from home and abroad get the opportunity to review their yearly work and receive guidance from the seniors, he said. Officer in charge of Tongi West Police Station, MD Harunur Rashid, said the 5-day Jor Istama of the followers of Maulana Zubair Ahmed began today and it will conclude on December 2nd. Additional police forces have been deployed to ensure the security of the participating devotees, he added. Senior Joint Secretary General of BNP, Advocate Ruhul Kobir Rizvi, has said deposed former fascist ruler Sheikh Hasina considered Begum Khaleda Jia as a thorn on her path. Mr. Rizvi made the remarks while speaking at a function as the chief guest to hand over checks of donation on behalf of acting BNP Chairman Tariq Rahman among the members of 7 families of July uprising martyrs and injured persons and Miracle School filed at Hajari this morning. As part of a humanitarian assistance program, Amra BNP Poribar organized the function to provide donation to the martyr families and injured persons. Rizvi said irregularities loomed large during ousted regime of Sheikh Hasina when she stockpiled huge quantities of gold ornaments personally and laundered money abroad by looting banks. Hasina fled the country, leaving behind everything but did not take back the hoarded gold ornaments, he said. Rizvi called upon the interim government to handle strongly the deteriorated law and order situation and resist the social violence, saying that existence of illegal arms, incidents of murder have been increased alarmingly during the post-5th August time. Viewers, taking a short break, please stay with us.
আরে ভালো জিনিসের খবর ছড়াতে কি আর মাইক লাগে? খবর ভাসে বাতাসে বাতাসে।
আরে দেখো এসএফিডের জাদু। সম্পূর্ণ নিজস্ব তত্ত্বাবধানে বিশেষজ্ঞদের সমন্বয়ে প্রস্তুত হয় এসএফিডের পশুখাদ্য। অত্যাধুনিক প্রযুক্তিতে তৈরি এই পশুখাদ্য যেমন নিরাপদ তেমনি স্বাস্থ্যকর। এসএফিড, নিরাপদ ফিড, স্বাস্থ্যকর প্রোটিন। এসএ অ্যাগ্রোফিডস লিমিটেড একটি এসএ গ্রুপ অফ কোম্পানিজের প্রতিষ্ঠান।
Grand Palace, 5-star chain hotel, Zinda Bazar, Sylhet. Local and international cuisines. Exclusive banquet hall for all events. 5-star luxurious rooms and suites with bulletproof glass. Fiberglass swimming pool. Relaxing spa. Well-equipped gym. Experience panoramic beauty at SATV Restaurant. Welcome to Grand Palace Hotel. Grand Palace Hotel and Resorts, Jollar Par, Zinda Bazar, Sylhet, Bangladesh.
বাংলাদেশে দীর্ঘ ৩৭ বছরের সাফল্যের অগ্রযাত্রায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন আধুনিক ও শৈল্পিক স্থাপত্য শিল্পের দেশ মালয়েশিয়ার কুয়ালালামপুরে। লাখো গ্রাহকদের প্রয়োজনের দিক লক্ষ্য রেখে নিশ্চিত বিশ্বস্ততা ও আন্তর্জাতিক মানের সেবা এখন ডোর টু ডোর। SA Poribohon Courier and Parcel Service SDN BHT 120 Jalantun HS Lee 50050 Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. SA Poribohon Parcel and Courier Service আপনার সেবায় সব সময়।
Explore the black.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. Torrential rains and floods triggered by Cyclone Detwa in Sri Lanka have killed 123 people and left over 130 others missing, the country's disaster management center said on Saturday. Nearly 44,000 people have been displaced and are now housed in state-run welfare centers after their homes were destroyed by a week of heavy rainfall, said the DMC. Numerous people were trapped on the rooftops and Air Force footage released showed people being airlifted to safety. Food aid from India arrived early on Saturday to assist in relief efforts as Cyclone Detwa moved across Sri Lanka towards southern India. The irrigation department said on Friday that it expected the floods that have already affected countless areas across southern and eastern Sri Lanka, including many parts of the capital Colombo, to spread even further. At least 13 people have been killed, including women and children, by Israeli forces during a raid on a southern Syrian village. It is the deadliest attack on Syria since they seized southern part of the country a year ago. According to Syrian officials, Israeli forces raided the village of Beljin, seeking to detain local men, but opened fire when they were confronted by residents on Friday, also causing dozens of families to flee the area. Israel's foreign ministry defined the attack as a horrific massacre. Israel said on Friday that it had carried out an operation in Beijing to apprehend members of the Jama Islamiyah militant group who were planning IED and rocket attacks into Israel. It said other militants opened fire on the troops, during 6 soldiers, and that forces returned fire supported by aircraft. According to Israel, the operation has now ended. All suspects have been detained and several militants were killed. Since the fall of former senior President Bashar Assad in December 2024, Israeli forces have seized a stretch of southern Syria that had once formed part of the UN Monitor buffer zone created under a 1974 disengagement agreement. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Friday that his chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, had submitted his resignation amid a corruption scandal. Ukrainian anti-corruption agencies searched Yermak's home in the morning on Friday. Yermak said he was fully cooperating with the investigators. Yermak's departure comes as a major probe into high-level graft and snare senior official, fueling widespread public anger. Russia very much wants Ukraine to make mistakes, Zelensky said in a video address. There will be no mistakes on our part. Our work continues, Zelensky said on Friday that talks between Ukrainian and US officials on proposal to end the war with Russia would take place soon. US President Donald Trump on Friday took to Truth Social to assert that many documents signed by former President Joe Biden are invalid, alleged that use of a device known as an auto pen meant they did not have direct presidential approval. Trump's post declared any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the auto pen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated and of no further force or effect. He alleged that individuals circling Biden around the beautiful Resolute decks in the Oval Office executed actions improperly, causing him to challenge the legitimacy of executive orders and other documents. Trump also stated the people who operated the process did so illegally and warned that if Biden claimed otherwise, it could lead to perjury charges. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said on Friday that Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban was acting without a European mandate or the consultation with the European Union in regards to his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Merz said that Orban's position about Russia was known for years, adding that his last visit to Moscow has proven unsuccessful. He has his own ideas about ending this war. So far, they have not realized, said Merz during a joint press conference with Slovenian Prime Minister Robert Golob in Berlin. The Hungarian leader, meeting Putin for the 14th time, has kept close ties with the Kremlin despite Russia's war in Ukraine, which prompted 19 rounds of EU sanction and a sharp cut in reliance on Russian energy. He has often questioned Western military aid for Kyiv. Meanwhile, German police used water cannons on protesters blocking a highway near Gießen on Saturday, and scuffles broke out near the venue where the far-right Alternative for Germany party was to elect a leader for its new youth organization. Several organizations such as the powerful DGB Union and the left-wing opposition party Die Linke had called for counter-protests. The previous AfD youth organization was only closely connected to the party and disbanded in spring this year, following an assessment by German intelligence services, which concluded the wing was confirmed right-wing extremists. According to public broadcaster ZDF's Politbarometer poll, nationwide support for the AfD stood at 27% on November 21st. The AfD's meeting, sealed off by police, was scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. local time. At 11:25 a.m., the gathering had still not begun. It was believed the delay was due to the protest and the resulting limited access to the venue, as local authorities expected some 50,000 anti-ADF demonstrators to descend onto the university town over the course of the weekend. Anthony Albanese became the first Australian Prime Minister to tie the knot while in office, when he married his partner Jodie Hayden in a private ceremony in Canberra on Saturday. The couple were married at a small ceremony attended by family and close friends at the Prime Minister's official residence, the Lodge. The statement said, Hayden has accompanied Albanese to public events in recent years and was with him during his 2022 election campaign and again this year during federal campaigning. Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko on Friday said this week's coup in neighboring Guinea-Bissau was a sham and demanded its disrupted election to be allowed to continue, adding to a chorus of regional anger over the latest power grab. The coup reflects a continued pattern of instability in Guinea-Bissau, a notorious cocaine transport hub with a long history of military interventions in politics. Guinea-Bissau military officers installed Major General Horta Inta as transitional president on Thursday, a day after soldiers toppled the civilian leadership before the results of weekend presidential and legislative elections could be announced. The presidential contest pitted incumbent President Omaro Sissoko Embalo against Fernando Diaz, a 47-year-old relative politician newcomer who claimed he was on track to win. The head of the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah said on Friday it retained the right to respond to Israel's killing days ago of its top military commander and left open the possibility of a new conflict with Israel. Naim Qassem spoke in a televised address as fears grew in Lebanon that Israel could escalate its bombardment of the country to compel Hezbollah to relinquish its arsenal across the country, which the group has repeatedly rejected. Israel's killing of Hezbollah's top military commander, Haytham Ali Tatabai in a strike on Beirut's southern suburbs on November 23rd sharpened those worries. Qasem said the group would set the timing for any retaliation and said threats of a broader air campaign had no impact on the group, but that renewed war was possible. Qasem also said he had hoped Pope Leo's upcoming visit to Lebanon will play a role in bringing about peace and ending the aggression.
نحن نرحب بهذه الزيارة في هذه المرحلة المفصلية وإن شاء الله.
A vast Russian overnight attack on Ukraine killed 2 people and wounded 2 dozens. Ukraine's foreign minister said on Saturday, adding that Moscow continued to kill and destroy while the world was discussing peace plans for the conflict. Russia shot dozens of cruise and ballistic missiles and over 500 drones at ordinary homes, the energy grid, and the critical infrastructure. Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha wrote on X. Ukraine's energy ministry said on Saturday that more than 6 lakh users were left without power after an overnight Russian attack on the power grid. The attack hit facilities in Kyiv and 5 regions across Ukraine. Pope Leo condemned violence in the name of religion on Friday at a landmark event in Iznik with Christian leaders from across the Middle East. At the celebration of the 1700th anniversary of a major church council with senior clerics from countries including Turkey, Egypt, Syria and Israel, Leo called for dialogue and cooperation among Christians. Friday's ceremony, at which the church leaders prayed in English, Greek and Arabic and lit candles near the underwater ruins of a 4th century basilica, is the main reason for Leo's 4-day visit to predominantly Muslim Turkey. Before ending, we'll go to the headlines again. Arrest the looters, keep the factories running, says Mirza Fakhrul. You're updated with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.